Good morning. So today we're going to do lighting design in my D&D diorama, and it's sponsored by Dioramo. So I'm going to turn these cameras around, and then we're just going to dive right in. So now, full disclosure, these were sent to me. I did not pay for them. Even though it's a sponsored video in that respect, my opinions are my own. I'm going to tell you what I loved, what maybe I didn't like, and whether, maybe if you're looking at getting into lighting, should you go with custom or buy a system like this? Because I did custom for years. I'm going to give you my opinion and tell you what my recommendation is. That's next. All right, first things first, the unboxing. So Diorama sent me a very cool Diorama box full of stuff that they chose, and I think it was just so they could showcase, this really nice wide range of stuff. I had no, well, I just said, yeah, please go ahead and send something. I did not specifically say, hey, I need this, this, and this. So this included a power hub, a dimmer hub, switches, and a ton of different lights. Frankly, well more than I needed for this diorama. Right off the bat, everything was packaged super nicely, very professional. I was immediately impressed with the presentation. Now, I've dealt with a lot of lighting components over the years, custom LEDs, resistors, different types of wires, you name it. Usually there's a lot of planning involved to make sure you don't fry a component or end up with a dimly lit scene. But Diorama takes care of all that for you. More on that in a second. So installing the lighting in my medieval D&D diorama was actually pretty fun this time. Way smoother than my usual setups when I'm soldering everything from scratch. The diorama has 4 above ground levels and 2 subterranean levels. There's a sewer system, an ancient temple, and 2 buildings, and I needed to light those to enhance different areas without turning it into a wiring nightmare. When I set up lighting, I don't just guess where to place it. I test it first. I use my own light probe method, which is just an LED attached to the end of a long stick with dental rubber bands. See, this lets me move the light around inside the diorama and see exactly how it looks in its intended environment. I pay really close attention to placement, where shadows fall, and how the lighting affects the scene. This little trick has saved me a ton of time and helps me make better decisions about where light should go on each of the levels. For the sewer level, I built custom styrene brackets with spring catches. These let me adjust the lights and the roof so I can tweak their angles or reposition them as needed. Well, I am still lighting my D&D diorama, and I want to show you these little spring clips that I made last night. So what the deal is Diorama has sponsored the video, so I'm using their lights, and they're really nice. I've mounted them on like these styrene I-beams with a little plate on the end of it. And what I then did was I made one of these little clips with little spring clips. This is all just the same styrene. Made those little spring clips. And then I can force the spring clip down from the top into the holes that I've got for the 3 lights I'm trying to put in this level. And what that allows me to do is once the spring clip's in there, I can put the light in, I can adjust where I want it. Because, the higher I have this, it's more of a spotlight below. The lower I have it, it's more of a wash of light. So I can adjust these once I got it, little dab of glue, and we're all set. Okay, so this is kind of just showing you how I'm routing my electrical. So I've got 2 wires, one going down here, one going here, and they are 2 little tiny things that are lit inside this room. So that little candle is lit with a flicker, and then that little bottle, that decanter is lit. And then I've got another little thing. It's basically supposed to be levitating in that little hallway, that entryway. So I've got the wires coming out here. They're in a channel just like this. I put this channel in here, and then that channel goes all the way down here, and then I gather all those together and have them all right here. And this is great. This is some woven electrical cover, and it'll just make everything so much cleaner inside. Here, I have a couple of the Dioramo modules, and they're pretty awesome. What they do is I can take the 12-volt lead coming in, that's these white and black wires coming in here. That comes in here. These plug into the Dioramo hub for power, and then this line goes to a gang of 4 lights. There's 4 lights all ganged together on this. They're all the same voltage, and so this thing is supplying all the power for 4 lights, and it's perfect. It's the torches inside. This one goes to a different light. This light is the electrical ring that I have inside. Again, it's a really nice way to use something that I built and add it to the Diorama lighting system using a component that they supply. So I can use my own lighting with their components, which is pretty awesome. I ran this little system through its paces because, you know, I didn't want to put something in there that wasn't even going to make it through its build process. You know, when I build these dioramas, I may build for months. This one that I'm showing you here is 10 months. So during that time, if I've got a light installed, because I don't know, I install them maybe about halfway through. If I've got this thing in there and I'm moving it around and I'm building around it and I'm doing all this stuff, well, if it's not hardy enough, heck, it's not going to make it through the build process. And then after it's built, okay, so that your diorama's done, then you want to be able to take it to a show. You want to take it to display it and things like that. You know, you need a certain level of quality. Well, these are great. I mean, I looked through everything. I even took apart one of the power hubs to see how it was inside. And I got to say, I was just seriously impressed. Everything was rock solid. There was no flimsy off-the-shelf stuff, you know. It's all diorama design from the ground up. And I thought the quality was something that I really appreciated. I really liked what I saw. So now you never really want to pull on these connectors by the wire. You want to use the puller that is included and comes with it. And it works great. But for I just wanted to make sure everything was all good and stuff. So I did the little wire pull test and it worked great. You don't have to do it. I did it. And I'm really happy with the quality. Okay, so this sounds all too good. What are the downsides? Well, I'll put it this way. It's different. I used to think of the final light as the primary thing. Then the wiring and the routing, the power was kind of a secondary thought. It was all about that light, okay? But now, well, I can't just think about the light. I have to think about the light and the wire and the resistor, and the wire's 3 feet long, and then it's got a connector on the end. Again, that whole thing where I would just drill a hole through something and snake it through there. It was so easy to hide wires. Now, I got to be a little bit more careful. I found that I had to really get in there and find a place to put these wires. And I did. And so it's not necessarily a negative. It's just something that, you got to get used to. It's a different product. So I guess the final question is, would I recommend the Diorama lighting system? Absolutely. I think you can tell by, the tenor of the whole video. I mean, because it's been a great experience. I'm so thankful for Diorama to reach out and say, hey, would you test these? That was the initial thing. It was no obligation. There was no nothing said, would you just test them? I didn't have to make a video or nothing, but it was me that came back after looking at all these things and after seeing the quality, and after speaking to him about the manufacturing process and how much care that I saw that went into each component and the packaging and the labeling and the boxing and the shipping. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. So thanks again, Diorama. I really do appreciate it. And hey, if you want to pick up some Diorama lighting for yourself, I've got a little bonus. Here's the code SMC5 at checkout for 5% on your order. I'll drop a link to below, to Diorama, of course, but you can get, a discount. to say thank you. It's been a great experience. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and maybe a subscription. But I'd really like to hear your feedback. If you like these lights, if you've used them, or if you've got more questions about them, please throw them my way. I'd love to talk to you about them because I've thoroughly enjoyed using them. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see ya.